There's some challenge in doing that. In the interim, actually, your case is always on my mind, so I talked about your case with the Edwards people, and
Who are they?
the people that made your valve, the
Oh,
Edwards, the Edwards company, Life Sciences, is who makes the Sapien valve that you have. And sort of fortuitously, they shared that information with my mentor in Germany, Dr. Castle, who is he's probably one of the world experts about tavr. And I actually trained in Germany with him about a year ago. So he responded to me just this week, and he thought that actually putting one of the newer version valves, the ones that have this fabric covering, this one,
that fit better. Yeah.
So it's got this layer of fabric which your old valve doesn't have. So your valve doesn't have this white kind of skirt of fabric around it. In fact, this is your valve, but the newer valve, which
Oh, that's mine?
yeah, this is your valve. The newer valve, the Sapien 3, has another skirt of fabric around the outside of the metal, so you don't see that metal. So that would, if you put it in the right position, it would cover the holes internally. So he sent back, I don't want to get into too much discussion about the technology here, but his sense was that we should go back to the idea of putting a valve in a valve, but so right now the FDA has approved the same valve you have for putting a valve in a valve.
Okay.
You have to understand that. So
But it has a skirt.
This is the, no,
right?
so the one that the FDA
So it's exactly the same.
No.
give me a second. The one that the FDA approves for treating valve in valve is the one you have, this one. But the next generation valve, not approved by the FDA, but can be used in the same manner, has this extra skirt. So Dr. Castle's recommendation, and then in Germany, they don't have to follow the FDA. They have a different body that sort of guides them. And I've seen him and helped him do valve and valve before. We didn't have the S3 at that time, or we did actually. So he would recommend going off-label, using the next generation valve to put a valve in a valve. And the idea here is that it has another skirt of fabric that would be a barrier for those holes that are leaking. So because he's in Germany and I'm here, and we just started talking last week, we're still in the communication. He wanted some additional information, and I still have to, get in contact with him by email. So I think, last time I told you, I don't think we need to do another tab, or we can do this other plug procedure, which I think still could be an option. Now we have a second option, which might be easier technically, because this is just putting one thing inside of another. The other device, there are at least two different areas where there are holes. So if you turn the valve like this, and we're looking down the barrel, around the perimeter of the valve, there are at least two different areas where the valve is, touching the aorta, where there are gaps that are leaking. So, if we're just looking at a picture that's only two-dimensional and trying to find that gap, we can only tell in one direction where we are. It could be here or it could be forward. So it's a little more technically challenging to put the